how did I get here? Well, that requires a tale or two, and we need to go back to 1989 when that building across the field was known as Sachem South, and I was a freshman in Mr. Sabalos' English class. Mr. Sabalos was one of the most influential teachers I had during my time at Sachem and frankly throughout my entire life because of the impact he made back then in 9th grade honors English. You see, Mr. Sabalos believed that English was not just about literature, grammar, the Iliad and the Odyssey, or Shakespeare. He believed truly that English was the study of all things. On Fridays, we would take a day off of whatever the topic we were studying, and he would teach a lesson on a random thing: how to make beer, how to repair a small engine. Any random piece of information that he could pass on to the eager class was always the highlight of the week. He was a Renaissance man, so interesting and unique, and partly mysterious, complete with the Ernest Hemingway beard. He quickly became and remained one of my favorite teachers. On exams, he believed that you should get credit for your knowledge. Rote, strict parameter exams were not his thing. Rather, you would get 1 point for every fact or point or issue that you could recall. This meant that you can get 147 on your exam or a 15. As a young student, this was fascinating to me, and I always wanted to make a good impression. Near the end of the year, we had to write a term paper, and I really wanted to impress him. My sister, who was 4 years my senior at Sachem North, was reading Albert Camus and studying existentialism at the time, and I thought, what better way to impress him than to write a paper on topics that were 4 years ahead of what we were studying. I was, and in some ways still am, a bit of a procrastinator. I delayed. I waited, taking my mantra of being able to work better under pressure. I didn't read the book fully, and frankly didn't grasp the topic at all. But I cobbled the paper together in the final days before the deadline, complete with a lot of fluff and inconsistencies, and submitted it. The grade that I received is not important, and in reality was overly generous. But the message he wrote on the front cover was the true lesson, and I still have the paper today. Larry, you have a rather disappointing habit of trying to make it on your personality rather than your intellect. I do not doubt that there are teachers that would be charmed by this paper. I find it kind of juvenile and contrived, sort of what a philosophical poser would do. Brief historical side note. Poser is a lost phrase from the 80s, defined as someone that is a faker, not real, like someone who is a skater but not really a skater was a poser. It and other phrases like it, minted, radical, bodacious, veg out, are gone into oblivion and have been replaced by terms that I'm sure you all know, and 4 of my kids, one of whom is seated over there, know better, like it slaps, this steak is fire, drippy, vibe check, extra, all those things. But in 1989, to be called a poser, especially by your English teacher, was especially a big blow to my ego. But he continued on. Many of your statements do not make sense, and I suspect they are copied down with little understanding of what they really mean. The millionaire's life and his money and success mean nothing to an existentialist. The only meaning to life is life itself, and you do nothing with it except live it. If you think success in the Air Force Academy will make you happy, that's fine, but it will not make you any better than any happy Aborigine in the Australian outback. What was wrong? What happened? Well, 15-year-old Larry didn't know at the time, but the problem was that I was in love with the idea of writing a paper about existentialism, not in love with the work and dedication needed to accomplish it. I tried to BS a guy that was one of the smartest that I ever met, one that I deeply respected, and he called me on it. I want you to remember, if you forget everything else I say today, in whatever you do, wherever you go, you have to have passion, sustaining passion. You have to believe in it. The reasons you start are often the ones that keep you going and help you finish, and without sustaining passion, you will most assuredly, eventually, fail at whatever you do. Fast forward to a few years later when I was in this building as a graduating senior. At the time, as foreshadowed by my 9th grade paper, my dream was to attend the U.S. Air Force Academy and fly F-16s. Sachem started a new program. Half the day for the first 4 periods, there was an in-school aviation training program. Mr. Kalaramakis, or Mr. K, as everyone referred to him, was the instructor. He was one of the coolest teachers around, well-dressed, well-liked, and had a great rapport with everyone. He was a private pilot and a willing subject of the inaugural program, which included in-class simulator training, FAA ground school, and actual flying planes on the weekends, a true first-of-its-kind program at the time. The class was enjoyable and occupied literally half of my schedule for the end of my senior year, but much like Mr. Sabalas, Mr. K was teaching much more than the fundamentals of flying. He was giving career advice, relationship advice, of which I needed a lot at the time, and generally preparing us to enter the world as young adults. His famous saying, one that he repeated over and over and over again, like an untrained but genuine motivational speaker and influencer before there was such a thing: Larry, what you think about all day long is what you become. I can hear the words and see his facial expression and body language as I stand here today. He believed it. He truly believed it, and he made you believe it. Such a powerful, positive, lasting influence for young men and women. What was the lesson? Perseverance. You will be tested. You will be tested by yourself. You will be tested by others, by outside influences, by life circumstances next month, next year, and for the rest of your days, you need to remember who you are, what you want, and dedicate yourself to getting there. No matter what, despite setbacks, twists, and turns, 2 steps forward, 1 step back is still 1 step forward. How am I standing before you today? Passion, perseverance. No, I am not an Air Force pilot. I did not attend the U.S. Air Force Academy. My story after high school includes a brief stint at Dowling College, which is no longer there and sits as an abandoned property in Oakdale. Enrolled in the Aviation Management and Flight School, a choice I made over Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University and moving away to a tropical paradise in Daytona Beach. I was a volunteer firefighter in the time at the Holbrook Fire Department and did not want to give that up. That decision led to becoming an EMT and then, surprising many and much to the dismay of my parents, dropping out of Dowling and enrolling in the paramedic program at Stony Brook. 10 months later, I embarked on a journey and commitment of service in healthcare, working full-time both at Jamaica Hospital and Stony Brook. 3 years later, I would leave Stony Brook and join the New York City Police Department, where I threw myself into learning every facet of law enforcement. I returned to school, transferred 3 more times between Stony Brook, Suffolk Community College, Nassau Community College, and ultimately found my way to the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. I started, stopped, started, stopped, started, and stopped some more, alternating between attending 1 semester, taking 1 semester off to pay off my credit card where my tuition was. Mom and Dad's arrangement was help for 4 years of school, not an adulthood of indecision and inconsistent attendance. It would take me 9 years to earn my bachelor's degree, but then I never stopped, continuing on from my master's, 2 postgraduate certificates. I got married along the way, started a family, started a business, landed the biggest contract of my life with the largest construction company in the world, only to have that very same contract take down my business, plunge me $150,000 into debt, and test the strengths of my marriage, my sanity, and my fortitude. I worked, and at one point, 6 jobs to pay the bills, and still to this day, I remember my wife and I nervously watching our checking account reach 11 cents. 11 cents and 6 days, including a weekend, until the next paycheck would be coming. On we pushed, kids grew, the chance for me to return at Stony Brook in 2009 as the Director of Emergency Management presented itself, and it was an opportunity too good to pass on, and I, very unexpectedly and quite reluctantly, left the NYPD to be closer to home and to increase the quality of life for my family. I also would have had a shorter commute because I decided it would be a good idea to go back to law school, which I had been accepted to, and it was easier to coordinate with work. 4 years, part-time at night, and by the way, don't ever let anyone tell you that law school is part-time. While working during the day and on weekends, attending the FBI National Academy and actually commuting from Quantico, Virginia to Central Islip, I graduated, passed the bar, and opened my own practice. My Stony Brook career progressed. I took on additional responsibility year after year, and then, of course, all of our lives were turned upside down in early 2020 with COVID. For me, it was the moment I was waiting for, the one I had prepared all my life for with training, experience, and formal education. And as my wife says, it only took 11 years in a global pandemic, but man, they sure do appreciate you now. I wound up being promoted a few times. Those are all the parents of people that I went to high school with, by the way, who emailed me and text messaged me. I really feel the 30 years since I've been here. I wound up being promoted a few times, and a year ago reached the pinnacle of my career for my current position, where my team and I are responsible for the safety, security, and well-being of 50,000 people at Stony Brook. How am I standing before you today? Passion, perseverance, absolutely. That all began on these grounds and in these buildings all those years ago, and a decade before that in the halls of Grundy Avenue Elementary. I have Sachem to thank for building that foundation, for honing the skills necessary to make the tough decisions, sometimes rightly and sometimes not, and for creating the man that is humbled by the picture that hangs in the Sachem Hall of Honor, and so blessed to be able to deliver these words today. Sachem class of 2022, congratulations, good luck, God bless. Persevere passionately today, tomorrow, next week, next year, and forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. And now to present to you Sachem North's top 25 academic students of the class of 2022, I would like to introduce Mr. Thomas Desmond, principal of Winona Elementary, and Mr. Joe Watson, principal of Hiawatha Elementary. Thanks, guys. Ready to read the names?
Sure. It is our privilege to introduce the top scholars of the class of 2022. If we could ask the top 25 students of the class of 2022 to please stand when your name is called and come forward to receive your medal. Sophia Sheldon. Raymond Lynn, who unfortunately could not be with us today. He will be serving us in the U.S. Air Force. Swapna Gupta will be attending New York University. Giovanni Vitelli, who will be attending University of Connecticut. Shane Bordilli. Shane will attend the Stony Brook University. Caitlin Krauth. Caitlin will be attending SUNY College of Environmental Science and Forestry. Dalip Reddy Kusama. Dalip will be attending the University of California, Los Angeles.
To introduce the Sachem North Choral Seniors and their rendition of The Climb, conducted by Miss Cara Caliendo.
what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Struggles I'm facing, taking.
Sometimes might not be down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not
know these are the moments.
I'm gonna remember most. You just gotta keep going.
I gotta be strong. Just keep pushing on. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb.
There's always gonna be another mountain.
Always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Keep on moving, keep climbing, keep the faith, baby. It's all about the climb. Keep the faith, keep your faith. It's the climb.
Thank you. That was absolutely beautiful. It is now my pleasure to introduce the president of the class of 2022, Noren Khan.
I know the sunglasses make me look really confident, but I'm actually shaking. I'm a little nervous, but what a crowd. Thank you all so much for coming. Love it. Let's get to the speech. All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Noren Khan. I'm the senior class president, and I'm here with some words. It is such an honor to be standing up here. I can't believe we're all finally graduating. Just yesterday, it felt like my first day of Samoset, being amazed by using lockers and having to move from classroom to classroom for different subjects. But now, look how far we've all come. We are graduating from high school, and we are not moving classroom to classroom. Rather, some of us are moving out of Long Island, New York, even America. This year has been fantastic. We had a beautiful prom, delicious food trucks, a trip to our nation's capital, and a great senior day. And like so many more things that I could say, honestly. I want to personally thank and congratulate my senior class cabinet members, Anna Miller, Nick DeBacari, Aaron McCoy, and Reese Tiller. Thank you guys for all you've done. Let's get it. Yep. Ms. Pickersgill and Ms. Hanson, thank you guys for everything you've done. We could not have done it without you, so. I hope we all realize how lucky we are to be here. Today, we don't have to graduate, but we get to graduate. We earned this, everyone. Every single one of us sitting with a cap and gown, even if we don't think it, we all have worked so hard to get to this point. And I think we should be proud, we should all be proud of ourselves for such an important accomplishment in our lives. We can look back for a second. Chemistry with Ms. Schlitt, physics with Mrs. Lacasio, English with Ms. Delseni, my favorite class. Math with Mr. Murphy, love you Murph, what's up? And the 20 business classes I took with Mr. Sullivan, yeah. Look everyone, classes we take would have been the same no matter where we were in this country. You learn the same algebra in Idaho as you do on Long Island. But what I think I can say on behalf of all the seniors is thank you to not necessarily what we learned, but to the people who taught us. Thank you to all the teachers that have made our high school experience unique. Thank you for motivating us, pushing us, and teaching us things deeper than the curriculum. Round of applause for the teachers, man. Love you guys. Love you guys. I love them. On that note, another thing that makes our high school experience special and unique are our friends and our peers. From helping me with my Delta math assignments, from talking about life while eating cold cheese slices from Little Vinny's. Yeah. As we move forward, I hope we remember that friendship is a cornerstone of life. And as humans, we all need each other. Let's clap for all of our friends and peers, man. As we move on from the Sachem community, let's all try to form connections, meet as many people as we can, and live our lives with an open mind towards everyone we meet. You never know if one of these people can make an impact on your life. Whatever you do, do it as well as you can. These words have always moved me. We are all going down different roads, and as we know by the condition of the LIE right now, roads have bumps. Dads will love that one. We will all have bumps in our lives. That's when you need to apply these words. Now, I'm not saying you have to be the number one. Oh, lost my spot. I'm not saying you need to be the number one all the time. That's just not realistic. But always try to be. Always strive for the top spot. Even if that requires a break or time for yourself, rest. Always strive for number one. Whether you're becoming a nurse and those clinicals are getting really hard, you're trying to become a teacher going through your master's degree, a lawyer studying for the dreaded bar exam, the hardships on your journey are bumps in the road. And even if you know it's not realistic to be, say, the number one lawyer in the world, striving for the best version of ourselves will let us reach happiness and satisfaction in life. Let's live our life in the future knowing that we will do everything we can to improve ourselves. Let's all strive to be number one. On behalf of all the seniors, I want to thank everyone's parents, guardians, grandparents, siblings, family figures for guiding us through the journey of high school. Mom, Dad, my sister, I love you guys. Let's clap for the parents. Thank you. Congratulations to everyone. I hope the next chapter of your lives bring happiness and excitement. We made it, ladies and gentlemen. We made it.
Well done, Norin. And now to present the graduating class of 2022, I would like to invite Mr. Alex Piccirillo, Board of Education President, up to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. I proudly state that these graduates have fulfilled the requirements set forth by the New York State Board of Regents and declare them graduated. As a member of the Sachem Central School District Board of Education, it is with great pride and pleasure that I confer the diplomas for the graduates of the class of 2022. Congratulations for a job well done. I wish you the best of luck and success in all of your future endeavors.
At this time, may I ask the first row of graduates to please stand as we begin the conferring of diplomas.
Maisha Ahmed.
Anna Miller.
Ella May Alba.
Samantha Watson.
Ilanette Amaya.
Nicholas Lewis DeBacari.
Megan Avanzado.
Stephanie Michael.
Sonia Basha.
Lauren Elizabeth Peralta.
Allison Grace Bernardo.
Gianna Carmela Ferraro.
Courtney Michelle Bolin.
Elizabeth Catherine Holiat.
Riley Kim Burke.
Nicholas Rayano.
Marco Aram Kalashabeta.
Taryn Helen Wilkin.
Anne Francis Kavanaugh.
Alyssa Kate D. John Tomaso.
Isabella Alexis Tadino.
Maya Quaranta.
Tiffany Chen.
Ian Thomas Condrick.
Olivia Rose Chaffee.
Nicholas Lorenzo Vega.
Michaela Rose Kochi.
Jessica Paige Faby.
Kaylin Connors.
Victoria Corcoran.
Charles Corcoran.
Mariana Riva.
Thomas Corcoran.
Ariba Farouz Ashraf.
Alexis Nicole Katsalis.
Ling Ya Chen.
Leah Rose Catugno.
Dilip Reddy Kusuma.
Carissa Ann Dashnaw.
Caitlin Jane Krauth.
Tyler Albert Davidi.
Shane Michael Baudilli.
Nicholas David Dietrono.
Giovanna Vitelli.
Bridget Page Dew.
Swapna Gupta.
Kaylee Rose Farrell.
Sophia Marie Sheldon.
John Frank Giannotti.
London Anna Williams.
Paige Ryan Hessian.
Cameron Elizabeth Hall.
McKenna Marie Homiun.
Alexa Nicole Abrams.
Catherine Ann Howard.
Samantha Weingartner.
Alina Huynh.
Danielle Janine Wengert.
Troy Caravias.
Deanna Evelyn Cardoso.
Olivia Rose Keschner.
Gabriella Marie Teodoro.
Amber Christina Corpel.
Jacob Thomas Witkowski.
Alana Lynn Lax.
Adam Robert Polizzato.
Lynn Marie Lynn.
Joseph Christopher Shiano.
Antonio Luis Lombardo.
Joseph Sebastian Maiello.
Sydney Twista Lucien.
Reese Wilhelm Toms Tiller.
Tony Marie Manenti.
Morgan Taylor Kaczynski.
Mia Claire Matera.
Brianna Morgan Reed-David.
Isabella Catherine Matz.
Brooke Logan Bond.
Ava Morgan Malisha.
Julia Kathleen Dittmer.
Isabella Jordan Malillo.
Leah Ruth Haymack.
Michael Sebastian Mascarelli.
Isabel Victoria Weber.
Mohabit Mustafa.
Mary Jo Ellen Meyer.
Carly Noel Nosworthy.
Samuela Volsi.
Alexa Kate Nuzzi.
Erin Christine McCoy.
Tiana Marie Palizzi.
Norin Udine Khan.
Tabina Raymond.
Matthew D. Benedetto.
Rain Audrey Reyes.
Samantha Riley Sanacora.
Sebastian Peter Rose.
John Wiley.
Victoria Diane Salica.
Charisse Giselle Walters.
Haley Marie Sider.
Kevin Christopher Delagar.
Rafia Shiraz.
Ashley Nicole Biondi.
Isabella Maria Sill.
Caitlin Claire Seitz.
Gabrielle Elizabeth Sinatra.
Sophia Hope Semino.
Nathaniel William Stuber.
Emily Josephine Chula.
Sophia Lynn Sturm.
Antonio Giovanni Aiello.
Shamla Tosanya.
Rahim Akhtar.
Mia Dale Tiller.
Isabel Grace Alea.
Julia Margaret Turano.
Ryan Glenn Allion.
Christopher Robert Verrecchio.
Emma Debbie Albright.
Paige Elizabeth Wallstrom.
Nicholas Alfieri.
Caroline Grace Westvig.
Joshua Alvarado.
Mackenzie Bridget White.
Julianne Faith Amanatidis.
Emma Lynn Wilson.
Camilla Vanessa Amunatigi.
Sana Noor Akaya.
Jonathan Guy Anacreon.
Julia Lauren Barker.
Devani Star Adino.
Deanna Maria Barnes.
Jessica Claire Rose Anello.
Miranda Morgan Bartels.
Victoria Marie Aponte.
Nicholas Anthony Biamonte.
Estrella Ruby Arshaga.
Meyer. Brooke Kristen Bittling-Meyer.
Anthony Joseph Arenari.
Erica Patricia Boswell.
Angela Lynn Argyros.
Skylar Ray Brown.
Joseph Daniel Atkins Jr.
Andy Gaella Brewstein.
Joseph Thomas Bear.
Megan Rose Carr.
Michael Bailey.
Nicolette Genevieve Combs.
Amanda Lynn Ballant.
Alyssa Jane Conlon.
Leslie Allison Bardalis Vera.
Caden Cook.
Gianna Bartlett.
Marissa Victoria Crowley.
Joseph Bartolomeo.
Shannon Elizabeth Darby.
Kalana Robin Bauer.
Caitlin Paige DiStefano.
Leanna Paola Ben Cosme.
Rebecca Marie Dreschler.
Kelly Ann Burkettis.
Nicholas Robert Ilardi.
Brendan Connor Blakely.
Kelly Barbara Flintz.
David Bolta.
Brenna May Gambardella.
Sarah Lynn Bompain.
Joe Allen Garcia.
Mary Kenverly Bonilla Hernandez.
Amanda Lynn Jambrone.
Jenna Nicole Benora.
Nico George Guinness.
John Patrick Borshesky.
Morgan Giordano.
Shane Michael Borsari.
Serena Nancy Hecht.
John Patrick Brescia.
Rebecca Grace Hurst.
Ethan Bracco.
Vanessa Lynn Hush.
Nick
Lee.
Estefania Rodriguez.
John Joseph Lesko.
Danielle Del Carmen Romero Perez.
Sabrina Michelle Levy.
Christian Daniel Rosario.
Sierra Jean Lewis.
Elena Angelique Romanes.
Michael Anthony Lacorsi.
Ariana Michelle Rojas.
Laura Donna Catherine Liebman.
Kayla Rose Houlihan.
You ready? Julian Richard Torres.
Sierra Nicole Sacco.
Trapito. Emma Caitlin Trapida.
Carmine Angelo Cicino.
Nicole Marie Tedisco.
Shez, Angel, Ann,
Brian.
Teresa.
Brian Joshua St. Angelus.
Matthew Xavier Uloa.
Lexi Nicole San Pietro.
Daniel Antonio Valdez.
Emily Victoria Sanchez.
Justice Angelo Valenza.
Isabella Giovanna Sanchez.